Let me get this straight. You blew up a building.
2 CIs and the CEO of 22andU.
Two competing federal agencies with the same mission.
I don't understand why those Fed a-holes are so darn mean.
To protect the public from the scourge of dangerous misinformation.
You know those bum idiots. This is all them. We had a solid case.
The word entrapment, not even in their vocabulary.
The explosives we provided were fake.
Sworn to a duty to always tell the truth.
We have no indication at this time that this was a deliberate act.
We're all being transferred.
To where?
The only place currently with openings. Alaska.
Good morning.
Welcome to the office, huh?
And we got the retro feel. You know, the funny about federal buildings, they're all different, but they're still somehow all the same.
Oh, good morning, Agent Walker. At the coffee station. We actually drew straws before he got here, and I won, so we get to work together.
Let's get started. Let's see if we can't stir something up.
Let's give it a minute. I like to warm up the truth muscles a little coffee beforehand.
Well, what do you want to do first?
What do we have for a surveillance van?
Oh, wow. I got a Ford Explorer. We don't have a surveillance van.
Do you put up many cases here?
Cases?
Yeah, cases. We're the tip of the spear when it comes to protecting American democracy.
You really believe this? You really believe that people posting crap online is going to cause our country to crumble?
I think the work that we do is important.
We don't have a surveillance van.
Me and some people got one. We've never needed one.
We need a surveillance van. We need a big case or a CI who can lead us to a big case.
What do you need the van for?
Surveillance.
CIs, or confidential informants, are the lifeblood of any good law enforcement agency. Public posts on social media are one of the best ways to find CIs. Agents would never use coercion or take things out of context to try and persuade someone to become a confidential informant.
The new Taylor Swift single is absolute fire. I'm just seeing a lot of incendiary and violent language here.
Agents always need to be on their toes and ready to make snap decisions.
Is there anything I can do for you guys?
Actually, David, there is something you can do for us.
Chicken nuggies.
Chicken nuggies.
What?
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger. McDonald's cheeseburger.
Burger King.
Burger King cheeseburger.
Flame broiled.
Chicken nuggies.
Oh, baby, know you're gonna like it. I wanna be your beaver pilot. Said, honey, know you're gonna like it. I wanna be.
Awesome, right?
Is this a loner?
This thing's totally legit.
What is this? It's got windows!
Michael just said, bring it on.
Bring it on.
Yes. All right. We are live. Welcome
My favorite.
Welcome to the Northland Thursday evening with your hosts, Robby and Robby.
Yeah, well, we'll change that here soon. There will be changes.
There will be changes. Now you're Mike. You can make yourself whoever you'd like tonight, but
Oh,
for
thank
now,
you.
you know,
Yeah,
for now
free
you're
country and all.
Mike.
Free country and all.
I would say welcome to this edition of Technical Difficulties.
Yeah, right.
As we always seem to have, but we've figured out the way to avoid the echo. And how do we avoid that echo, Michael?
Keep talking.
We have to keep talking. That is correct. We have to.
Which is good because we have these microphones.
Yes, exactly. Well, we found out that, we have to just at least say something into the microphone every 30 seconds or so, or it starts it for some reason, these mics get lonely. That's what Jody described it as. The mic gets lonely and it thinks,
Yeah.
I need stuff. And so,
But it seems like such a happy microphone.
these are very happy microphones. They're very good microphones. They're
But they're total extroverts.
Yeah, oh no, they're extroverts. That's right. They got, they go
need
above and
interaction.
beyond. What's that?
They need interaction.
Yes, they do. So this is not the final setup, but this is getting close. We'll see. I got some more work to do probably tomorrow, and Jody will be here tomorrow.
Yay! Her play's done, so she gets her weekends back.
That is awesome. Yeah, she has been in that play or going on that play for forever now. I mean, for like ever and a day.
For what amounted to be just a 2-week run on the stage.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it does take time to rehearse and learn your lines, but
right, exactly. So yeah, she had a group of raging teenagers for what 6 or 7, 8 weeks that they did that whole thing,
and she took full advantage in a non-weird way.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
You can just use your own dirty minds and insert whatever thoughts here.
No, kids at that age are fun though. I mean, they really are. I used to I coached baseball for a lot of years, and the seniors, the majors and the seniors teams were always the funnest because kids are just fun. I mean, at least they were. I don't know about now. I just don't know.
I'm not sure I could coach baseball. I mean, I was never that good at batting to start with.
Okay.
So I know I definitely couldn't be the hitting coach.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But I could when it came down to mechanics as far as your throw, the parts of your throw and whatnot.
Right.
But I know I could not coach batting at all. All right, so you see when it's coming at you, what you want to do is move the stick thing towards it, and then we'll just go with whatever you end up with.
Hit it with the stick.
Right.
Hit that thing with the stick, and it'll go.
And if at all possible, have it going one of these directions, not one of those directions.
Right, exactly. Now, speaking of baseball, did you see the Pittsburgh Pirates thing?
Doc Ellis? Yeah, it was like the 70s.
No, the most recent Pittsburgh incident at the Pittsburgh field.
I think I might have saw something, but I don't. It's not. I'm a few bars. Tell me about it.
I will right here. Guy. So they get a hit. Guy stands up to celebrate, and some people say that he looks like he does this on purpose, but he doesn't. So guy stands up to celebrate, and there he goes.
That looked. Oh my God! He wouldn't do that on purpose.
No, you would not.
It looked like one fluid movement when he first started, though.
Yeah,
and no, I had not seen that. There was a guy that did that this happened to at Riverfront, but he actually was able to save himself.
Right.
And kind of iconic photo, and just kind of like one-armed man
hanging down there. Yeah, no, he was like way up there too. Yeah,
he was on my upper level.
Yeah. So the report is this guy, like in the 4th inning, he took his shirt off. He's had many, many beers, and so he just tried to celebrate this hit. And there's no volume. I'm not hearing it.
And his weight got ahead of him, and
yeah, exactly. And I haven't supposedly he was in. I mean, there he is laying there. The ref like what am I gonna do? That's one of the umpires, I believe, or one of the field. It's probably one of the umpires. Could be one of the field guys. They did a good job of.
Oh yeah, you got to bring out the backboard and everything.
I'm not laughing at the situation, but it's not like they're just going to leave him there and keep the game going. It's like
all right. There's a hazard over here, left field.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a new hazard in left field.
Yeah.
Right near the warning track. So,
Yeah, warning track's got to get a little lumpy right by the fence.
Oh, God. And, I mean, I don't know. If you're right there by the damn wall, you just kind of got to not drink a ton of beer and be careful. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Reminds me of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when they were going to a Phillies game, and I think maybe the Phillies were in the World Series or something like that.
Right.
And Dennis was like, okay, so we've got a couple jugs of whatever, booze, because I absolutely do not want to remember this game.
Gotcha. Yeah, no kidding.
That's actually one of the reasons why I don't drink when I go to football games, when I'm attending them. I don't drink here when I'm home because kickoff's at 9 a.m. But so like when I'm at a game in Cincinnati or what have you, I normally don't drink in the stadium because the beers are $12, and really I want to remember the game. I flew across the continent, I paid a small fortune just to be here today. So
yeah, exactly.
I want a memory of it.
Right, exactly. Oh,
we got the $12 8-ounce beers aren't really for me either.
Your microphone's just like a little bit crunchy sometimes. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Of course. It wouldn't be us if it wasn't technical difficulties. Oh my God. Okay. So yeah, poor guy in Pittsburgh. Couldn't have happened to a better place, right?
I'm sure obvious head or neck injury.
Yeah. And supposedly, the last I heard, he was in critical condition. Yeah. So this was World News Tonight 45 minutes ago.
As emergency teams rushed into that fan who is now in critical condition tonight. Here's Will Reeves.
So he's still alive.
Tonight, this video capturing the terrifying moment a man fell from his seat at Pittsburgh's PNC Park, landing on the field, now in critical condition.
We've had one person fall out of the stands, 20 plus feet. We've got 3 medics working to assess and extract the patient now.
The 20
that's just
plus foot fall coming in the 7th inning of the Pirates game against the Chicago Cubs.
See, he held on just for that last second too. Like he tried.
Yeah.
He really tried to hang on. You can see right there, his arm is on there, but he's just got too much momentum.
The Chicago Cubs.
When you look at it like in slow-mo, he just looked like he was like jolting up because it was a huge play.
Bobby Ketter unintentionally caught the moment on video.
It happened so fast, and then we looked over at the Pirates, and they all had their hats off, and that's when I knew it was pretty serious.
Players frantically trying to alert umpires and security. The game paused, players taking a knee as medical personnel attended to the man, taking the fan away on a gurney and rushing him to the hospital.
Obviously a very, scary moment, and just you kind of see like everybody's taking a knee and just praying and hoping everything's okay.
Today, Pirates chairman Bob Nutting stating, "Pirates baseball is a community, and our fans are like family. In times like these, we must come together, support one another, and keep him and his loved ones in our prayers."
David, Pittsburgh Public Safety says the incident is being treated as accidental, and the man remains in the hospital in critical condition.
So just being Phil, say something.
Okay, yeah, what do we got?
There we go. Okay. Reset. The being philosophical for a second. People fall and hurt themselves and go to the hospital every single day, probably by the thousands, right?
Right.
And people end up in these falls in critical condition, right? ICUs are full, and some people in ICUs are full.
Showers are one of the most dangerous things for a human to do.
Right. Not every day that you do it in a ballpark with probably 10,000 to 15,000 people. and having it broadcast on the internet for millions of others.
Yeah,
Like,
to not just the nation, but the world.
It's not something that normally happens. You don't normally get that. So,
not that there's anything good here, but I was glad they kept saying the man fell. The man, because it gets really, really more depressing when they say the little boy fell.
Oh, yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
But, hey, base hits can be exciting.
Yeah, that was a very exciting base hit, I guess.
Yeah, it wasn't even a double or a home run or, baseball.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You can only try and make things so, you only so much for people. I mean, really.
And the taller rails, you could make it a bit taller, but they got to be able to see over it.
Right.
And unless it's like a fence up to like eye level for first row, you'd still be able to get over that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially standing.
But I'm pretty sure this will spark some conversation in the
those Chinese suicide nets.
Yeah, right. All right. So no trial today. How much did you catch yesterday or the last couple days? Have you been kind of catching anything or no?
I have not.
Ah, okay. All right. Well, we'll catch you up then.
Oh, things have happened?
Things have happened. So first off, I want to know. So Jen McCabe is on the stand now. And actually, let me see. This is a 100% completely different trial this time. And this post on X from Brandy Churchwell really shows the difference. And let me pull this up. Why am I hearing an echo? God,
I don't know. What's me?
I know.
I don't know.
No, that's better.
Okay, good. Excuse me. Yep. Okay. Hey, Robby, nice to see you.
Hey, how's it going? So here is last year's trial. No, this is this year's trial. This was last year's trial. This is 2024. So we had opening statements, and then we had Adam Lally and David Yannetti. Then we had Paul and Aaron O'Keefe, so the brother and her and his wife. And then we had Detective Seraph. I think he was a detective at the time, right? So we had first responder. Then we had Seraph Cross the next day. Then we had another cop. Or no, Mulaney was a fireman. And then Nuttall, he was the guy that said, I hit him twice, right? Then Flamati, which sounds like some kind of Italian dessert. Does that sound? I think after dinner, I'll have the Flamati, please, with some ice cream.
After Nuttall, I was saying we got some winners of names going on in this trial.
So then we had Flamati day 2. Then we had Matt Kelly, another first responder, Walsh, another first responder, McLaughlin, Katie McLaughlin, a prime witness. She is the main one that said that I hit him, right? She's the one that started the whole I hit him.
That was perjury, wasn't it?
Oh, shit, something. So McLaughlin day 2. Then we had the jury trip to the house. The jury trip to the house this year. So let's stop right there for just a moment.
What would be the point of that?
Oh, dude, you have no idea. Hang on a second.
I mean, at most, it needs to be like a jury trip to the driveway if you needed to take them there.
So on day 4, they did the jury trip to this year, right? And we'll get to that here in a moment. So day 4, the morning of day 4, they went and they did the jury trip. So they show up at the house. They show up at 34 Fairview.
Mm-hmm. And the new owners of the house.
Oh no. And this is on the lawn. Oh, that. I am not kidding. Somebody overnight brought a rock that says Albert with a red smear over the E and the R and placed it by the car where the car was parked on the street, dude.
That's dirty pool.
Right there. You can see it there. And then you can see it right there. There's the Lexus. There's the rock.
Yeah. That is dirty pool.
Right? So what do we get from the shithead judge?
I'll explain before we
Let's listen to shithead judge.
start. At the end of the trial, when I give you your instructions, I'll explain to you what a stipulation is. But essentially, a stipulation really is just something, a fact that the lawyers agree to. So what the lawyers want me to tell you, what they agree with, is that last Friday, when we were on our view at 34 Fairview, you may have seen an object in the front lawn. It looked like a rock.
It looked like a rock.
Does that object just kind of look like a rock with Albert painted on it and a blood spot?
I'm not a geologist, but I mean, it has the appearances of a rock. Without further testing, I don't know. You know, you got to pour acid on it, scratch it, hit it with a hammer.
It is a very rock-like its characteristics.
It seems to have rock substance to it, but you know, it could be a pebble, a boulder. I don't know. I have to look at definitions.
Yeah, exactly.
If you saw that in the front lawn, it looked like a rock. If you saw that, please disregard it. They want you to know that that was not there on January 28th to January 29th of 2020.
Oh, I mean, the cops didn't miss that this whole time?
Dude, what is going on? What even is that?
Well, the jurisdiction for this whole trial is bizarro world to start with.
Yeah, it is. It is. Absolutely is. It's bizarro, cray. I mean, that's just this trial never does not disappoint. It does not disappoint with just the absolute freaking complete silliness of what's going on. Okay, so day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, all pretty much first responders, right?
All right.
Gallagher is a cop. Good is Officer Good. Officer Lank. Oh, Vordier for Lank because of the fight that he got into.
Wadier.
Whatever. Vordier.
Well, Wadier.
Wadier. What, dear? Okay.
I was trying to say something.
Then you got Good, day 2. All right. So then we got Lank's actual testimony. Then Ray. So then Ray. Then, okay, now we start getting into friends. Okay. So
we're going into some quicker testimonies.
Right? Yeah. So then we got friends. And then day 8, I think, was Jen McKay. Right. So this is last year's trial. This is this year's trial. We have first responder nut case guy. Then we have Carrie Roberts, who was like, you know, one of the people that went with Jen to try to, or with Jen and Karen to try to find John. Then we have Carrie Roberts, day 2, her testimony. Then we have the mom, Peggy O'Keefe. Then we have some cell phone testimony from Garano. Garano, remember, is the cell phone guy.
Yeah.
Then we have Daniel Whitley. He's actually one of the firefighters who took Karen to the hospital for her section 12. He was the guy that said a lot. Did I show you that or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the guy. Then we had Daniel Whitley, second day. Then we had Jean, and I don't even remember her freaking testimony. I don't remember Bridget's. I don't remember these people's testimony, but this is all like friends and associates and just emotional testimony. This is all emotional stuff, right?
Which you should call them our non-witnesses, given that they didn't see anything.
Right. No, exactly. Then we had the jury view. Then we have Dr. Gary Fowler, who
Was the rock in the driveway
Oh.
this time?
It was. Oh yeah, no. This was this year. This was this trial.
Oh, okay, okay.
This was just the other day with the Rock, dude. The Rock was there just the other day when they did this jury
Okay.
view.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, sorry. It was not last trial. This was this trial, and the judge just like, you know, there was a rock there, it had blood on it, but just ignore it. I mean, oh my god. So Gary Fowler, yeah.
I'm not sure that rock's grounds for a mistrial, but that there's some foul play from someone with that. And who's Albert anyway?
Well, the Alberts.
Oh,
yeah.
So there was no S on that?
No, it was I don't know actually. Let's see. Oh, it just says Albert. It really just says Albert. So not only I told you that Massachusetts is the second stupidest state in the it don't even argue. They're the second stupidest state in the union.
Who are they beating? Mississippi?
Well,
Arkansas?
no, Minnesota is second, or is the third, and then Michigan by far is far and away the worst.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's Michigan. Michigan is the one. And so you even see, let me
You know, I sent a U-Haul to Ohio the other day.
Did you really?
Yeah, she was relocating to Dayton. And I said,
Oh,
"Pardon?
wow. Yeah. Cool.
Dayton? You sure?
Yeah.
You've been there? You've seen it? Because I promise the only thing to do in Dayton is to leave."
Exactly. So I said, come hang out with Robby and Mikee as we catch up with the first 7 days of testimony in the murder trial of Karen Reed in the second dumbest state in the union. So it's even in our our description for tonight. What is the first? Tune in to find out. Well, you guys are tuned in.
There you go.
We'll
Well done.
find out. It is Michigan. Michigan is the dumbest state in the union.
I split their state in half, dumb states.
But
and they're the same state, but they don't even like the other peninsula.
Exactly. Michigan or Massachusetts is second because you can't even spell the people who own or used to own the house's name right. Because Kevin, oh no, it is Albert. You're right. It is Albert. Never mind. I'm dumb. Okay. I'm the dumbest person on
You're from Michigan.
on this broadcast. Yeah.
You shut your mouth.
No, it was Kevin Albert. Okay, so it's the Albert's house, but it is the Albert is their name. All right, so you're right.
And
There is no S
by
on the
finger
end.
paints. So
There is no S on the end. You are correct. So okay, so we've got all this. So this year, let's go back to sharing this tab. I'm doing really good on sharing tabs tonight too. I hope you guys appreciate that. So all this is just basically there's a couple of first responders marked in here. You had Ian Whiffen, more cell phone evidence, basically saying that they were at, there's no like discussion that they were at the house at 12:30, right? Or 12:20 or whatever. I mean, that's not so the cell phone data puts them there. Okay, great. They were there. They'd admit they were there.
So the testimony is they own cell phones?
Yes. And the cell phones were at 34 Fairview on that night.
It's compelling stuff.
Oh, I'm telling you. So then we have cell phone dude. Then we have the ARCA hearing, which we'll get to in a minute because you have no idea what happened there. Then
I'm not even sure what ARCA is.
Okay, so ARCA was the experts that the FBI hired to do the testing last trial. Remember, there was the witnesses at the end, the guy that did the cannon, he fired the cannon at the car. And so they proved basically that her car did not cause the injuries. That's the ARCA witnesses, right? And so we'll get into their thing in a bit. And then you've got Jen McCabe. So then you have no one of the things that we'll see when I play some of the cross-examination here in a bit was Alan Jackson is trying to get, because now she's come up with this thing with like, she heard Karen say, I hit him, right?
Yeah.
So that's supposedly she heard that. Well, she never said that to any of the police officers. Oh, we're getting an echo.
Are we? I just
Yeah, we
spoke.
are. I know. I guess it wasn't enough.
Ah, geez, every time.
I know. So they oh, I lost my train of thought now too. Gosh darn it.
Maybe I could just tap the mic,
Mm-mm.
No, right.
No.
No, because I can't keep a rhythm. So,
all right. So he's trying to get her to say, you never told the officers, you never told the grand jury. None of these things happened that you said you heard. I hit him. The only time you said it was in the form of a question. Could I have hit him? Did I hit him? Right. Well, because there is no officers that have been on the stand yet, their reports aren't in evidence yet. So they can't really go to those reports to say you've never said that. Right. So,
do they get to impeach them off of prior testimony?
yes. And that's what Alan is trying to do. But this chick is slippery, man. Oh my God. She is slippery as slippery can be. All right. So the first thing I want to do, though, this is Jim McKay. Now, why, when people in Massachusetts, they say "ka," but then when they say they saw something, they say "sar"? Why could they put the R on the "sar"?
I might go back to that stupid thing you were talking about.
So yeah, I caught one of these where it's like there's
Anything
all
else?
these.
But it's bits and pieces,
Pause,
and
please.
then screaming.
Ms. McKay, did you see anybody returning to Ms. Roberts' car in that area?
Yes.
And who did you see?
I saw myself, and I'm standing outside of the car speaking to Officer Lank. I saw Kerry go up and near her car. I'm not sure if she went into it, and I saw someone walk.
Do you hear the R on the end? It's like a SAR. I don't know where that comes from, but she actually does a decent job of saying the word car. But
Well, I remember the letter R in Massachusetts language is basically AHR.
Right.
So
okay.
That's just how they pronounce it.
So you think it's just one of those things?
Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah, so let me share this tab.
Yes.
Where did you see them coming from?
So it seems like she has gotten coaching. So you remember her testimony from last time and how abrasive she was, right? She is a completely different witness this time. She really is. I mean, she got her little snaggle tooth thing fixed.
Yes, earlier, yes.
Yeah, I guess.
Did you make plans with him, or did he just show up?
I believe he had started the conversation about the night with Chris Albert.
Chris Albert
I guess she's got a little bit of the tooth thing there going on.
is a different Albert than Brian Albert?
Yes.
How was the relationship between them?
Brian Albert and Chris Albert are brothers.
Was Chris Albert there?
But you can see she's very made up. She's got the, I don't know if you can see it on her neck, but she's got the crucifix
We would
there.
see them, who's my daughter's
She's got the big old cross,
birthday party. When it was time for pickup, they would come in, have a couple drinks. Same thing for like a Halloween party.
She's
after
just
basketball games.
So you spent time both with John and Miss Reed?
Yes.
Did you?
She's just a normal soccer mom. That's all she wants to be known
We were
as,
listening
right?
to music.
No doubt.
Typical night.
Okay. Anything stand out as far as music or interaction with the group?
No.
So, just basically then they go through,
How
they
it
go
felt.
through the first, and then so this is day 6, I believe, and then day 7, she comes back, basically lays out her, they
Same
watch
shirt?
pretty much. No different shirt. She's got this blue
Okay.
shirt on now.
Well,
She
good,
has
because wouldn't be able to live that down.
like, why are you wearing the same clothes?
Went drinking last night, woke up at a
Yep.
friend's house.
So there was one thing she said, and I don't remember if she said it in Cross or well, there's a bunch of things she said, but one thing that stood out to me was when she was talking about Carrie Roberts. And I'm going to have to go back to the other day. Give me a second. Let me find.
Yes.
And yes. Well, show the transcript. Yeah, I know. But she described Carrie Roberts as a take charge, and of course it's not coming up. Damn it. Charge. Let's see.
Curious.
A lot of screaming, and
Oh, there we go.
Carrie was kind of yelling back at her to shut up.
Who was taking charge of the situation that morning?
Carrie Roberts.
Were you in charge?
Jen McCabe is just a soft little Tucker mom. She can't, she wouldn't be the one that make all these plans or take charge or anything. Oh, here we go.
Where you were going to go next, or were you just a listener?
I just listened. Carrie said that Carrie's kind of a take charge person. She said, we're going to Meadows. So I said, okay. I drove to Meadows.
She's just following along, Michael.
Yep.
She's just a passenger on this ride. So let's see.
Could she have hit him? Did I hit him?
How many times did she raise the question, did I hit him? Could have I hit him?
A good amount.
Did you ever speak to her about that?
No.
At some point.
So now she's saying that the whole way there.
Yeah, she was pretty much alluding to that she was.
Yeah. Yep. Screaming the whole time, did I hit him? I could have hit him, blah, blah, blah. The whole time they're on the way to there, she said, saying that.
Did you finally get to John's home?
Yes.
When you got to John's home.
Oh, yeah. And the shoes, you got to take your shoes off before you go in. And I can't believe that she didn't take her shoes off.
No in his house before entering into the house.
Yes.
I took off my shoes.
You took off your shoes?
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Japanese.
Because you always had to take your shoes off at John's. He didn't want you to track. He would have yelled at me for tracking snow in his house.
Did you see if Carrie took her shoes off or not?
I believe she did.
Did you see whether
She's got, you notice that tick to thing before she speaks, right?
Nah, not yet, but I'll watch for it.
Notice it. Listen now.
Did you see if Carrie took her shoes off or not?
I believe she did.
Okay.
Right there. It's so, it like almost every time she speaks, she has to do that.
Did you see whether the defendant took her shoes off or not?
She just walked right in.
How would you remember?
Bev, wake up! Because I thought it was strange.
What was your purpose when you went into the house? What was the number?
So why do you think, why is that important? What are they trying to show with the shoe thing? Yeah, and just your opinion. What is it? I'm going to run and grab a water while you're doing this. Let me put my headphones on so I can hear your answer. But I want to, so give me your opinion, Michael, on what the importance of.
I could see something to like state of mind that she walked in, wasn't even thinking she needed to remove her shoes just because her mind was somewhere else.
Okay. But why would the prosecution make such a big deal about them not taking their shoes off? What do you think? What's your, because this is, I mean, last
Maybe something minor to impeach the witness about. I didn't remove my shoes, or I did, but the people are saying you didn't. That's one idea. What else? How many ideas you got to come up with? Maybe because Karen Reed's just a dirty girl and doesn't take her shoes off when she goes in her house, so her house is all dirty from tracking dirt in. Maybe.
That's possible. One of the things that I heard was, hang on, let me get my stuff back on. So one of the possibilities or things that I heard from one of the legal folks was it's more of the conscience of guilt evidence.
Okay, I'm gonna need some clarification on that. As in how that applies.
When she goes back to the house, she knows that he is dead. So it's not only is it like, I'm not going to take my shoes off because I know that you are gone. It's almost a kind of a jam in the face almost, or like a middle finger to him. Like, I'm not going to remove my shoes.
I've removed them every day for the past 5 years. I don't have to do it now.
Right. Right. Because I know that you were gone and
you're not going to say nothing.
Yep.
That's pretty weak.
Yep. No, exactly. Yeah, Anthony, that's what I was thinking too. Yep. That's what I've heard. That's and I mean, that's kind of the weak evidence that we have in this stupid trial.
Was this before or after the I hit him?
Yeah, right.
So of course she knew.
Yeah. So it's conscience of guilt. They also said, now this was an argument that Hank Brennan's made a couple of times, and then whatever the woman attorney for the prosecution has made the argument that they removed the car from 34 Fairview when they drove the car from 34 Fairview to her dad's house. That was conscience of guilt.
Okay.
Because they were removing the murder weapon from the scene.
Wasn't she driving home?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You know, semantics, right?
Right. Well, sure. Yeah, I could see foul play there.
Right. I mean, that's how far down the rabbit hole these people are. It's insane. I can't remember. It was, man, that might have been like day 1 or day 2. Let me see if I can find that, because it's dumb. But yeah, so the conscience of guilt. She knew he was dead, so she wasn't going to remove her shoes. And she's just kind of like giving him the middle finger because and
that's pretty weak.
Oh yeah, no, it's weak as heck.
You know, the bad thing here with Massachusetts being full of morons, in Karen Reed's case, the bad thing here is so's that jury pool.
Right? No, that's how you got the damn thing last time. That's how you got like 8 jurors last time to say that she was guilty of something. I mean, because they're not really that Yeah. But
Yeah.
I gotta find this thing about the conscience. I mean, this whole removing the murder weapon from the scene thing was just, I mean, it's over the top.
So why don't they tack on tampering with evidence or something like that?
Yep. Mm.
All right, so tell me why I should admit that.
Okay, so this was the argument for the clips. You know how they're playing the little clips before each witness and all that,
Yeah.
right? This was the argument for these clips to come in. Conscience of guilt.
You should admit this clip because it demonstrates consciousness of guilt. On the morning of John's death, Miss O'Keefe sees her son at the hospital and goes back to Mr. O'Keefe's home. In the driveway is the alleged murder weapon, the Lexus with the broken taillight. It's the middle of a snowstorm, and a prelude to that
And she's like, I gotta get out of
is
there.
a phone call from the defendant's father to the Dighton police looking for a ride to go in and see his daughter at the Good Samaritan Hospital. He's looking for a police ride because the weather conditions are so terrible. When the Dighton Police Department declines that ride, he gets the assistance of his son, and his son's wife pick him up and bring him to the hospital. At the hospital, there are a number of comments made. I think I hit something. There is evidence we have where the defendant, her mother, and her father admittedly discuss in different ways the broken taillight. It is an issue that is primary on their mind. In this tumultuous, grieving moment, the taillight is central between these parties. Uninvited, the defendant.
He's also saying that she was uninvited to go back to the house.
Yeah.
The house that she had clothes at and stayed at. She uninvitedly went back to the house there.
And her father.
Oh, what the fuck just happened in court that we missed?
All right.
This is a family that's grieving the loss of their son. Less than an hour, they go back outside. Instead of leaving in the one car, they take the alleged murder weapon, they get into two cars, and they drive away and remove the Lexus with the broken taillight from the scene.
Do you think they did that on purpose?
No. I think the person was probably going home, and they decided to take their car when they did that.
Because that's their car, and it's like,
and that's how they were getting home.
And yeah, they knew that this was. I mean, yeah, this is such a. I mean, this is the evidence that they have.
I mean,
dude. This
where
is their
did
evidence.
where did they take this murder weapon to? Their own driveway?
Yes. Oh, of course.
Where it was easily found after a brief search.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't like off a bridge into the bay or anything like that. You know, never to be
right.
Like, you know,
no,
like
exactly.
you do with your pistol after you go and.
Yeah. So okay. So here we go.
That you were worried about.
We were looking for John.
Took her shoes off or not?
She just walked right in.
How would you remember?
Bev, wake up! Because I thought it was strange.
What was your purpose when you went into
Yeah. So stupid shoes. They had to bring the stupid shoe thing back to the, and they had Carrie Roberts testified about the shoe thing as well. Like I took my shoes off because John would never want anybody. You can't walk in his house without shoes.
Yeah. I got a Persian carpet. Yeah, I have to respect it.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. So we get to the next day and we get to her cross-examination. And this is where she's really got, she's just got a whole new attitude. like she is just.
She looks like Skeletor without the muscle.
Yeah, she's very, very tiny person.
Yeah. But I mean, just the way
So this is,
cheekbones are so pronounced, and
Oh yeah. So she, she has all this wonderful memories about everything, right? And she
Right.
can remember everything. Let's see.
Yes, let's see.
So
are you
what-
supposed to be sharing something?
Oh shit! Thank you.
You're doing so well.
I know I was. Yeah. I need to unshare. There we go. All right. So this is Skeletor Day 2. So
new shirt.
Oh yeah, exactly. So they talked about how her and Carrie Roberts did this timeline and that they've talked consistently. They talk almost every day. They talk about the trial. And then he's asking her about, how many times did you meet with the
Have
defense or
dates.
with the
I
prosecution?
do remember at one point I met with Mr. Brennan. He was new to the case. So I went in and he introduced himself.
How long ago was that? Weeks or months?
Maybe I can't give you a time frame. I'm sorry.
This is her new thing too. Say something.
Yeah.
Her new thing is I don't remember anything. Of course, when the defense is asking, I don't remember. Well, yeah, but that was still Brennan.
Yeah.
That was still direct.
So on
right?
cross, she doesn't remember anything.
Not a damn thing.
What? Well, you don't get to rehearse your cross.
She doesn't remember
Particular meeting.
meetings.
There at one, the witness advocates were there. And again, give or take the particular meeting.
Those are 2 meetings that you've talked about with Mr. Brennan and others.
So, all right. So we just go through this. She says, all right. So there's some new stuff that came out though. That did not come out in the last trial. So we kind of went over this last night, but you're going to love this. So they're not allowed to say that it was the FBI, right? And it seems though that there is a rule that you can't say agents.
Because it's too descriptive?
Because agents are FBI agents. You have to say other law enforcement officers or other, other law enforcement. You can say other law enforcement agency.
Treasury Department.
You just cannot say agents. So you'll see in this next little bit that they get caught up because this is all brand new testimony, and this is actually kind of fucking hilarious.
They were asking questions about what happened at the
So, all right, let me go back a little bit. Let me get just where this starts.
They were asking questions about what happened at 34 Fairview and after.
I called you on the phone.
Okay, so hang on. It starts here.
Through Kevin Albert, is that right? Yeah. So you've been interviewed many times by
This is great.
different law enforcement agencies, be they Massachusetts State Police, Canton Police, or otherwise, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Another law enforcement agency that was not Massachusetts State Police.
I'm going to speed this up a little bit. I'm going to put the playback speed up a little bit.
And not Canton Police Department at one point in April of 2023. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I want to talk for a second about that series of interview or that interview.
The prosecution did ask about the Google searches. They did. So
you were contacted at your residence by
It was
these
quick, though.
members of this law enforcement agency, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Dude, this is crazy.
Later that same day, you did sit down with those same law enforcement officers.
We're not there yet. We're not
for a
there
formal
yet.
interview.
On the FBI.
On that same day that you were contacted by them, they also went into your home and actually interviewed you, correct?
Yes, it was brief.
This
All
is
right.
troopers.
Okay, so this is another thing. Remember, every 30 seconds.
Yeah. I was just waiting for a time to butt in and also thinking what to
I
say.
know.
But
Doesn't matter.
drawing
Just
a
say
blank on
yes.
both. Got it.
Just say I don't care. So she has to equivocate everything. You
Fuck that term.
were interviewed exactly. Say that. You were interviewed by these other officers. It was brief, right? Everything has to have an equivalence, right? Everything has to be equivocated. It can't just be a yes or no answer. It's got to be something that puts her in the best light or takes away the sting of it or whatever. So
They also went into your home and actually interviewed you, correct?
Yes, it was brief.
This is true.
Yes, it was brief.
Those law enforcement officers identified themselves as being associated with an agency that is not Massachusetts State Police. You
No.
understood that.
Different.
Yes.
You're
And
right.
You understood that they were not involved with
FBI.
Canton Police Department either, correct?
Correct.
Completely separate agency. Is that right?
Yes.
Yep.
During the course of that interview, those officers informed
Even if you
you
just say yep.
very specifically, Mr.
Yeah.
McCabe, that it is a crime
I got lost in
to
time.
lie to them, even during an interview, correct?
Yes.
Ask Sherry Papini.
Those law enforcement officers informed you that they were investigating certain circumstances attendant.
Another time here. Watch this. Watch how evasive she is with her answers, even when she knows exactly why they're interviewing her.
Okay.
To John O'Keefe's death, correct?
He was very careful with that.
They were very vague on what they were.
Understood.
I don't know what they were investigating.
But you
You don't know what they're investigating. How many crimes are you involved in?
Right? Do you think the jury buys that?
I don't know because
Well, because they're Massachusetts and
well,
they're dumb.
beyond that, I'm just wondering where this question's going to begin with.
Oh,
Hoping it gets tied into something because I could care less who writes the paycheck for the law enforcement agency.
well, just wait.
did understand that it was having something to do
It's going somewhere.
with your involvement at 34 Fairview on January 28th, 29th, 2022. As a witness or
That's an
Sustained as to
yeah. The
certain
phrasing.
terminology.
The phrasing on that.
Sure. Let me see if I can rephrase that.
Yeah, the phrasing on
Okay,
that.
you were aware of the subject
Tough.
matter of their interview, right? They weren't interviewing about a car you bought last year, correct?
Correct.
They were interviewing you basically about what you're testifying to here, correct?
When I first spoke with them, the conversation was pretty vague.
Won't answer the question.
Yep.
But the subject matter, vague or specific, was about this subject matter.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
About what happened at 34 Fairview. Just they were asking
They
you questions
first
about what
contacted
happened
you
at 34 Fairview and after.
They called you on the phone. Is that right?
Actually, they walked up to my car.
They walked up to your car.
Yeah.
So she gets to her house. They walk up to her car.
Okay, that was the very first introduction, correct?
Yes.
At that point,
Yep.
they had not identified themselves.
Hi,
correct?
ma'am. We've been
know.
following.
So listen to what she says.
And at that point, you told them that you were not Jennifer McCabe. They asked you who you were. You said, I'm Nicole.
I thought they were like selling.
I thought they were selling stuff.
I'm
You
gonna
know
back that
they're
up
in
'cause-
suits.
what?
Yep.
I had what?
Yep. Oh yeah, dude.
Does
It gets,
you
it
know
gets
them.
even
Is
better.
that right?
You just know they're in suits.
It gets so, dude. It gets so much better.
Actually,
backed up
they
a minute.
walked up to my car.
They walked up to your car.
Yes.
Okay, that was the very first introduction, correct?
Yes.
At that point, they had not identified themselves, correct?
They didn't know.
All right, and at that point, you told them that you were not Jennifer McCabe. They asked you who you were. You said, I'm Nicole.
I thought they were like selling something.
don't
so I was
explain.
like, oh no, I'm not the homeowner.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Don't explain.
However,
Just answer.
Okay, so this next part about just listen to the semantics. They call her pretty much immediately when she gets in the house, right?
Okay.
There's people outside. Then they call her and they say, "Hey, we're with the FBI. We'd like to talk to you." Listen to the argument that she has to get into about how she doesn't know where they are or how, I mean, just she won't answer the questions.
after you said, I'm not Jennifer McCabe, you walked into the house, they then called you on the phone.
Yes.
They were
Correct.
still sitting outside your house.
I don't know where they were, but they did call me.
They were close by.
I'm not aware.
Well, the call came almost immediately after you walked back.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean she knows where they're
I'm
parked.
not sure how much time had passed.
Give me an idea. It wasn't an hour. It was
No, it was
5 to 10
soon
minutes.
after. I'm just not sure. I can't tell you where they were located. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That
They
would
told you
be
that they would,
speculative.
at that point, they identified themselves as being law
Fair.
enforcement agents, correct?
When they called me, yes.
And they told you at that time that they were not with Canton Police. You knew at least they were not with Canton Police Department. They were not troopers with Massachusetts State Police, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
This is all new. I think Jackson's being pretty careful with it. But if somebody walked up in my car and was like, "Hey, do you live here?"
All right, we'll get to this.
And then watch me walk in the place.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, I'm on a call. Asked her from who we are presuming is now federal agents. And then right outside, and she's like, "I don't know. I can't see through the wall."
And they told you that they would like to have an interview with you. They'd like to have a sit-down talk with you, correct?
Yes.
You told them that you would be willing to submit to an interview, but you needed about 10 minutes to get ready, correct?
Yes.
You ultimately did allow them into your home, and you did sit down for a formal interview with them, correct?
I'm interested if he's going to ask her why. You needed about 10 minutes. Yeah, I just got home. I had to pee. I needed a minute. Yeah.
Yes,
unwind first.
Yes. And it was during that formal interview inside the home that it was explained to you that it would be a crime for you to lie to them on any material issue, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
During the course of your interview, your husband, Matt McCabe, came home. Is that right?
Yes.
As these law enforcement agents continue to question you, as law enforcement officers continue to question you.
Did you call Matt?
You informed them that you did not feel comfortable with any further questioning and you suspended the interview, correct?
Yes.
It's good. It's getting good here.
Okay.
Before leaving, however, those same law enforcement officers asked you if you had contacted anyone in those 10 minutes when you indicated, "I need 10 minutes to get ready," between the time they called you and the time that they showed up and came inside your house, correct?
Yes.
You told them that you had contacted your husband, Matt McCabe.
Yes.
Which is why he came home, right?
Yes.
And you told them that you had called Carrie Roberts before they interviewed you, correct?
What now?
At that moment.
What now?
I'm not 100% sure, but if you have it, I'll. It's not.
So
I don't. No, go ahead.
So 10 minutes. I'm trying to make some commentary over here, so we're not just using this whole kind of thing. So copyright stuff and all. So 10 minutes. She says, They ask her, "Well, who'd you call?" She said, "Oh, I called my husband and I called Carrie Roberts, the other witness in this case, the other person that was with her in that morning." Right.
Right.
It seems like something I would do, but if you have it,
what
you can
now?
show me.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So now they go through and she's got to show him.
I understand the husband. If they have a lawyer to say.
So we're going to
Suspicious
go.
I'm sorry, page 4, top folder.
Okay.
To yourself.
So what's funny is he says, read this top part of this.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't highlight this. I don't know.
Well, she sits there. She reads the entire document here.
And then look up and let me know when you.
She's like, "Yeah, just read the top pages, couple paragraphs." She sits there, goes through the whole thing, right? So
Investigation of this case.
Yes.
Jury. A lot of these
All right,
individuals
so-
went to the investigations. The only time you really know is if somebody gets indicted.
Contacted in that 10-minute interval. What you told those agents initially. I'm sorry, what you told those officers initially from that other law enforcement agency.
So you see, caught himself saying agents right there. Listen to
Investigations.
that.
The only time you
And
really
then he-
know
then
is if
he
somebody gets indicted.
corrects himself and says
Recollection
officers.
as to whether or not, as to what you told those agents initially. I'm sorry, what you told those officers initially from that other law enforcement agency.
The most.
That about who you contacted in that 10-minute interval.
Yes, I told them.
And you told them that you had contacted your husband, Matt McCabe.
Yes.
And Carrie Roberts.
Correct.
I want to stick with that for just a quick second. One of the first calls you made after being contacted by these other law enforcement officers from a different agency, one of the first calls you made was to Carrie Roberts. Is that right?
Yep.
She was the first one.
That's what I'm asking. One of the first 2 calls you made, your husband.
Right.
Come home. There's law enforcement outside my door. I'm guessing is what you said, correct?
I don't remember my exact words
Is he
now, but I
telling
did
you,
ask
or are
him
you
to come
telling
home.
us?
Correct.
And
Yes.
Carrie Roberts.
Right.
What's that?
I don't. But leading's allowed on cross, so
It is. Oh yeah. Yep.
Yes.
You wanted to let Ms. Roberts know that you had been contacted by certain officers from a different agency, correct?
I was curious if they had already been to her.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
You also wanted to find out had these.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Carrie, the FBI's here. Did they talk to you? What did they ask you? What do they want to talk about?
Yep.
Oh, 100%.
Law enforcement officers from this different agency contacted her, correct?
Yes, because typically if you
Just
enter our
ask yes or no.
town, she's.
Ms. McCabe, yes or no?
Oh, sorry, I was just trying to
That's
explain.
okay.
I'm sorry.
Is that why you contacted her, to find out if, in fact, they had contacted her before you? Yes or no?
Yes.
And you also wanted to find out
Oh boy.
what she told them, if she had been contacted by them, correct? That was your motive in calling her.
No.
So you just wanted to find out, had she been
No, of course I didn't
Wanted to
do
get
that.
make sure we got our story straight.
Yeah, right. Wait,
contacted?
you're not gonna. Yeah, it gets
If
even
you
more
call
crazy.
it motive and she's going to get to Carrie, what were your number?
All right, come on.
No, what was going on, right?
Well, they ask you.
Well, I can't say what I would have answered, what I would have asked her, but I know I was calling to see if they had been there. Yes,
That was
correct.
that was your intent.
I called to ask her if they had been there. Yes.
So that was your intent. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Your motive in calling
you just
Carrie Roberts
gossip with
at that
her?
moment, you wanted to
All right,
find
can-
out if she had talked to these particular law enforcement officers.
All right, so we get
There
into
is no
this.
story. There's what happened, and that's
so,
it.
So if that's true, Ms. McCabe, you have no reason to call Carrie and ask her if she had been contacted.
You call for the cheese may.
Because it's just the truth.
That's why you don't deny calling for the
We're
cheese
going
may.
through this whole experience together. We call each other about everything.
There would
That's
be no
nothing
reason.
more than that.
So
I'm
let her-
sorry.
Let her finish her answer. Go ahead, Ms. McCabe. You can finish that.
Yeah, it's just because we're going through this traumatic experience together.
Yeah. What's
There's
so traumatic
nothing-
about you being involved?
Yeah.
More
I
than
mean, I
me
can see
calling
how
and saying, hey,
Karen
did they come
Reed
to your
is
house?
traumatic.
That's what we did when the media showed up, when Miss Reed's private investigator showed up. We just give each other the heads up.
Notice she had to stick that stuff in there. Well, when the media showed, she's the
Yeah.
victim.
Hey, somebody's coming. 'Cause
Right.
We're just like normal moms. We're not used to this.
And that's helpful.
There you go. We're just normal moms. We're just normal soccer wine moms.
Mm-hmm.
We just give each other the heads up. Right. If you gossip with her
I
at your
promise
house,
it's
And making
getting
sure
it
that
better
the
too.
stories she tells are consistent with the story.
We don't have to compare.
And if in fact
Okay, so here you go. This is
what
great.
you were telling you was just the truth, there would be no reason for you to inquire about who's contacted her when. There'd be no reason.
There's no inquiring. It's like when when the ice cream truck was at the street next door and I'm saying, did the ice cream truck come? It's really that.
Okay.
She just compared getting visited by the FBI
Agent.
agents. FBI agents show up to your house. It's the same thing as the ice cream truck.
Right. Because the song that the truck plays and the bell ringing, they're all very similar.
Right. No, exactly. Exactly. It's like when the ice cream truck shows up in the neighborhood and you call your friend and you say, hey, the ice cream truck's here.
But I only have $1.25. I need $1.50.
Oh, God. Okay, so that was some more stupidity, but it gets even better. Oh, my God.
Simple.
So
that's her answer to your question.
Okay, so
The ice cream truck. So you keep dibs on everybody here as he's walking around in the courtroom, but he said,
I'm going to get on here. Okay.
They asked you, was there anyone answer to those law enforcement officers at that separate law enforcement agency? They asked you,
Here we go.
was there anyone else that you contacted in that 10-minute period before we got a chance to talk to you? And your answer was no, correct?
Correct.
And that was a lie, correct?
It wasn't a lie. No.
Was it true?
I had.
Was
Was it true?
really
or lie?
true?
It wasn't a lie.
This is insane.
Okay, so it was the
This is insane, dude. Listen to this shit.
truth. You had not spoken to any other person between the time
You just said
they contacted
contacted.
you telephonically, and you said, I need 10 minutes, and then they came in the door. During that part of time, you didn't talk to anybody else or contact anybody else other than Matt McCabe, Carrie Roberts. Now you're testifying that was a true statement.
no,
I can't.
no, she didn't say it was true. She said it wasn't a lie. It's not true, but it's also not true. And if you can't
That's
answer a
the
yes or no
whole
question about
truth.
whether it's a lie or it's true, then it's probably because it's
What's that?
It's not the whole truth.
You're right. It's not the whole truth, nothing but the truth. It's just not exactly true.
not true.
That arc of time, you didn't talk to anyone on your testimony. That was a true statement.
I can't answer that yes or no.
It's pretty binary. Had you talked, well, let me ask you this. In point of fact,
What's a yes or
kind
no
of a yes
question?
You did talk to other people. Did you contacted others? In addition to Matt McCabe and Kerry Roberts, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So when you
that's not
said
true.
no to the answer, did you contact anyone other than Matt and Kerry? That would be, by definition, Ms. McCabe, a lie. Correct?
Who'd you
No.
contact?
It's not a lie? Is there some shade of lie that I'm not aware of?
It's the way you're asking the question. If
Okay,
I
let
could
me ask it a
explain,
different
if I could explain,
Let me ask it
it
a
will
different
make
way.
more sense to you.
Ma'am, he understands perfectly well.
The agents asked you. Let me go over this one more time, then I'm going to move on.
No,
the
he
agents asked you, in
understands.
fact,
He's
did you
not
contact
confused.
anyone between the time we called you, set up the interview, and the 10 minutes before we walked in the door?
Not true.
They asked you that question, correct?
The objection is sustained. Watch the choice of language.
I'm sorry.
It's argumentative.
Law enforcement agency. That law enforcement agency, the members of that law enforcement agency contacted you. Sorry. They asked you who you had contacted between the time they first telephoned you and walked in the door 10 minutes later. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Data point number one. Data point number two. You told them Matt and Kerry, correct?
Correct.
But
You had actually contacted, they then asked you, did you contact anyone else other than Matt and Kerry, correct?
Correct.
And you said no. Is that correct?
At that moment, I said no. Yes.
Correct. At that moment.
No, at that moment, because they had just come in my house.
I asked you,
Only one person can talk at a time.
you said the word no.
she is making this a bigger deal than it probably is by the way she's answering. It doesn't even matter who else she talked to at this point. She's making
Oh,
it
it does.
a much bigger deal.
Oh, it definitely does matter who she talked to.
But wait,
Then
there's
it-
more.
Oh, there's more.
Than it would be otherwise if she just said, yeah, that's what I told them.
She was finishing her answer. Finishing her answer.
I had
Instruct her to
said
answer.
no because I was in a situation where there are two officers from a different agent had come in, were asking me questions, or they had said, can I?
Little pig, let me in. Ma'am, you let them into your house. You could have said no. If you're going to let them into your house, tell them the truth. If you're not going to talk to them, say, call my lawyer and I will come meet you at an office with my attorney.
Questions. At first, I thought they were selling something. Then they identified themselves. I just dropped my kids off at school. Going to be completely honest. I hadn't brushed my teeth. So
She needed to brush her teeth, Michael.
You get nasty.
I kind of made some phone
Objection, Your
calls.
Honor. This is
That-
not
that's
responsive.
so. Next question is.
Thank you.
I kind of made some
Ms.
phone
McCabe,
calls.
After you said no, that you hadn't contacted anybody else, those two law enforcement officers from that separate agency who had told you it was a crime to lie to them, they left, correct?
Yes.
Subsequent to that, Mr. McCabe, your husband,
Objection.
Sustained.
they left you their card
Not allowed to husband.
so you could call them if need be, correct?
Yes, they did.
And you, in fact, did call them back, correct?
Yes, I did.
Without telling me the content of the conversation you had, did you have a conversation with Mr. McCabe?
Objection.
Sustained.
Jeez.
Yeah, I
Did you
know.
call them back and say, I'm calling you back because my husband told me
Objection.
that I lied to you and I better clear that lie up?
So sustained.
Yeah.
Jurors, remember I told you before that only answers to questions are evidence? Be mindful of that.
May we approach?
Next, yes.
May we approach?
May we
Yes.
approach?
Yes.
He's not asking if she talked to an into spousal privilege yet because we're
Did
at
they just
hearsay.
show the jury?
May I?
Yes.
No,
Thank
no,
you,
no,
Your
no.
Honor.
That was Paul.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because this has gotten
Oh, and notice too that this is something to point out. This guy, that's Paul O'Keefe right there in the middle, right? Guy in the blue shirt.
Yeah.
His normal seat is right here, where this dark-haired lady is sitting. That's where he
Is this-
is at.
Yeah. Is this the media behind them?
Yes,
their
media is back
laptops?
here. Yep, exactly. Media is back here. Then you got the this is reserved for people for Paul O'Keefe. or John O'Keefe. And then over here is where the Reed family is and those folks. So Paul, for the entirety of the first trial, sat right here where this green dressed, dark haired lady is.
Okay.
He has sat there every single day for this trial until this day. At lunch or right before lunch, there was a big meeting, and then they called both the families into the courtroom. And there was a meeting between the families and the other people to say something.
Okay. Sorry.
You got to remember.
I know. I just let you talk. It seems like I'm interrupting, but okay.
Don't worry about interrupting
sweat
me
it.
because it's,
Yeah.
just say yes or whatever, because
Okay.
it's super distracting when you're hearing yourself a second later.
Yeah.
So they had this meeting, and then all of a sudden he moves over here. Now he does sit there and glare at Karen Reed the whole time. He makes comments so she goes up to you see, she's not there. She goes up to the stand during sidebars and everything.
Interesting.
He makes little comments about her. He ends up here, and then by the end of the day, he even ends up in the back of the thing. So I don't know, the speculation that maybe somebody from the jury said something, or that she was caught making comments or something, but he has now been moved from his seat because he can't, it's like Patty said, because he can't behave himself in court. I know, right?
Yeah, this is
all right. So back to Ms. McCabe here and her interaction with the feds.
May I?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. You ultimately called these officers back, correct?
Yes.
And you explained to them that you had been untruthful with them, correct?
I explained that I had forgotten to mention a couple of people that I had reached out to.
A couple?
a couple.
And she forgot.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about those 3 or 4 people I contacted inside of 10 minutes.
Forgotten.
A couple.
Is that your testimony?
Yes.
You had forgotten. You remembered Matt and you remembered Carrie, but you had forgotten the others that you had just contacted maybe 30 minutes before.
Yes.
There were
Did they not answer?
5 people that you contacted.
I contacted Matt.
Let's go through them.
Yeah.
Yes, no.
5?
No, 4 off the top of my head.
Okay, let's go through them.
Okay.
Look.
So
you contacted.
She tells the freaking FBI, I only called these 2 people, but she actually called 5 different people. And her excuse is, oh, I forgot.
Was she not aware that the FBI is one of those agencies that will be able to find out how much of your phone you've been using?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And I'm sure that's what her husband told her. It's like, okay, who else did you call? She's like, well, I called this and like Emily points out here in a little bit, this has a convenient call log on it.
Right.
You can see exactly who you called. There's no way that you forgot.
Or you didn't have that to reference.
Oh my. Okay,
Your husband, correct?
Yes.
You contacted Carrie Roberts, correct?
Matt?
Yes.
Carrie?
You contacted Peggy O'Keefe, correct?
Yes.
Then,
Peggy?
Mr. McCabe, you contacted the district attorney's office, correct?
My witness advocate.
The witness
district
advocate?
attorney's office.
My witness advocate who works for the district attorney's
Thank you,
office.
Ms. McCabe.
Yes.
The DA's
And-
office?
And for the coup de grace, who else do you think? So little game time, Michael.
At this point, you could tell me she contacted the judge.
Take a guess. It wasn't the judge, but who do you think she called?
So her witness advocate at the prosecutor's office.
Yep. Who is the biggest person connected to this case besides her?
Karen Reed.
Well, no, she didn't call Karen Reed. The other side of it.
Oh, gosh. I'm not sure.
Okay. Here you go.
You also left out
busy 10 minutes
that you contacted Brian Albert himself.
What?
Correct?
Yes, my brother-in-law.
She called Brian freaking Albert.
Maybe she's close with her sister's husband.
Right. You notice that the equivocation here too. You notice the qualification of the statement. You contacted Brian Albert himself. Yes, my brother-in-law. She's got to make it, something that it's not.
It shows that the relationship was already established.
Well, yeah, I know, but
I seriously don't expect Jody's brother's wife to call me.
Right.
Busy 10 minutes.
That you contacted Brian Albert himself.
What?
Correct?
Yes, my brother-in-law.
For some reason, your brother-in-law, who's the 30-year Boston police detective, correct?
Yes.
And on whose lawn John O'Keefe was found dead or dying. Objection.
Girl.
Correct?
Yes.
Holy shit. I'm really interested if she had conversations with all of them or if they didn't answer. But who else did you contact? I think implies there's no way you forgot.
And on whose lawn John O'Keefe
conversations with all of them or if they didn't answer. But who else did you?
I mean, I forgot.
I forgot all these calls I made.
Right. I forgot that I called my brother-in-law, the guy who's, tied to this.
I sense deception.
Right?
Anyone else?
Oh, I got the DA's
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
these officers to know that you had communicated
The jury just went
specifically with Brian Albert, the homeowner, just before you talked to them, correct?
No, incorrect.
There was some reason that was important enough for you to lie about that, even though you had been admonished that it's a crime to lie about that to those officers, correct?
Incorrect. I didn't lie to them. I had forgotten who I had called.
She's gonna stick with it, dude. She's gonna freaking stick with it.
Well, you have to. You have to.
And if you were stressed and said, I contacted a few people, I'm not sure, you have a motherfucking phone. Do you know what it has in it? Your call log. I'm not.
Right.
And the FBI is, they're very good at finding people's call logs themselves, right?
Right. Well, nothing's deleted forever.
Oh, I know. All right. So we got
strange. A lot of people don't know.
So that all came into the damn thing. Right. So that's brand new information that was not there last time.
Yeah.
Now let's see. And let's go.
Let's go.
So then we get it just goes back and forth when he's saying let me see if I can find the hit me. Like she didn't say it to any of the cops, or even they didn't write it in their report, but she told him that she told Proctor.
You spoke with Trooper Proctor just the same day, right? January 29th.
Yes.
Trooper Proctor was taking notes?
Yes.
About your conversation?
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Before we get to there.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
Oh, wait, there's more. So she's at the grand jury. This is in April. So this is only a month or two after this whole thing, right?
Right.
So he hands her, he's talking about her grand jury transcript.
Car was gone and saw nothing else on the lawn is a big deal.
Can you take a look at that document? Tell me if you recognize it.
Some of the other points just get lost.
Yes, I see it.
Is that a transcript of your entire testimony at the grand jury in April of 2022?
Oh, boy.
I believe so, yes.
You've reviewed it in the past?
Show me
I
where
have
it
read
says
it
I
about
hit
a year
him.
ago, yes.
You read it in anticipation of your testimony a year ago, correct?
Yes, I reviewed it.
Where does
Have
it
you
say
reviewed
it?
it in preparation for your testimony today?
No,
Or
I haven't.
Yesterday. Ms. McCabe, turn to the page or pages in that transcript.
Spell it with your P's.
Where you
Spell it with your
recount
P's.
to the grand jurors that my client said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
This is over 227 pages.
Okay, we'll wait.
How long did you say it was, Ms. McCabe?
227?
I'm not going to let her read 227 pages.
No, come on. You can let her read that.
Oh. Did you hear what he said, though? He said, we'll wait.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
Ms. McCabe, turn to the page or pages in that transcript.
Spell it with your P's.
Where you
Spell it with your
recount
P's.
to the grand jurors that my client said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
This is over 227 pages.
Okay, we'll wait.
How long did
That's
you
pretty
say
weird
it
to
was,
go
Ms. McCabe?
to that number. This is over 227. I mean, I'd say it's over 200 pages,
Okay.
but over 227. So you're familiar with it.
Okay, so a little bit of X-Files stuff in here too. What else in this trial is significant about that number? Do you know?
Time and death?
The Google search, Hoss Long Dying Cold.
Oh.
Was done at 2:27 a.m. according to the phone log.
Interesting.
So, isn't it interesting that the number 227 comes up when they're doing?
Well, right now that's a coincidence.
Yeah, right.
Without more.
Yep. So then he goes through page after page after page where they specifically question her in the grand jury about what did you hear? And she never says, I heard, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
Thing that stuck out to me the most was that he's going to go through all 12 times. He's going to go through all 12.
Turn to page 190, if you wouldn't mind.
You know AJ's got this shit tabbed. He's going to go through all 12 times. He's going to go through all 12 times. All 12 times that she was asked what Karen Reed said.
Which lines? I'm sorry.
10 and 11.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
The whitest rabbit in the chat makes a good point as she's finding that page. Karen literally admitted to saying this. I do think Karen Reed said, did I hit him? Could I have hit him?
You recounted what Ms. Reed said to you over the phone.
And we've heard that from Carrie. We've heard that from Jen. We've heard that a few.
Yeah, this, and I don't know. Oh, let's see.
Yeah, thanks.
So that's right. He was leaning over when they were at sidebars. Paul was leaning over to try and listen to the sidebars.
Okay.
So that was one of the reasons. I didn't, I guess I'd kind of caught that. I didn't realize that was the initial reason. So yeah, so the initial reason they moved him over was because he was also trying to listen into the sidebars they were having.
Right.
Which, they sit there, they tell jokes, and they just go back and forth with each other. And yeah, it's crazy. Supposedly the female EMT, which was Katie McLaughlin, right?
Yeah.
Was the one who heard, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
I'm sorry, 208 and 209, going on to page 209, lines 1 through 3.
Now, the problem is this, is I'm skipping back and forth through it, right?
Okay.
So, we're going through this, but this whole thing takes over an hour of the jury's time. So I don't know
if they're getting any information
or if it's just getting lost because she is just so evasive about it, right? Because she won't admit that she never told the grand jury. She just kept, well, that's what I remember. She definitely said it, right? So they go back and forth over this, and this takes forever to go through this.
Yeah.
You've got to go through it, but one of the things is you risk alienating the jury at this point, right? So
right.
You actually recounted to the grand jurors a conversation that you said my client had with a female EMT standing right there.
Oh, snap.
Exactly as you testified to today. Female EMT. You see that?
I do, yes.
And what did you say my client's statement?
What did you say?
In front of that female EMT.
In this, I say that she said, could I have hit him? Is he dead?
It's actually, did I hit him?
Oh, sorry, I missed that part. I apologize. Did I hit him? Could I have hit him? Is he dead? Is he dead? Is he dead?
And that was at the scene in front of the female EMT, exactly the scene that you're describing. You attributed the three statements to my client to today.
And that makes more
There was
sense.
many different times when we were talking to different EMTs, the female EMT, the men, the police officers.
Girl.
Yes.
oh, look at her.
Look at her face.
Oh yeah, and the indignation throwing the page
makes
down
more
there.
There was many different times when we
this.
were talking to different EMTs, the female EMT, the men, the police officers.
Girl.
Yes.
It makes more sense
See that she's getting pissed.
that the consistent statement from her in June is that Karen Reed was repeatedly saying, could I have hit him? Did I hit him? Is he dead?
So yeah, she is now. We haven't gotten to the you remember the butt dials from last time too, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because we don't really have all the phone calls in yet. We don't have a lot of the actual evidence in yet. I think my prediction is tomorrow is she's going to change her testimony completely. It's kind of risky.
Yeah.
But
What, remain credible?
well, yeah. But
It's
she is going to go from those were butt dials to she doesn't remember making those calls. And she will, I doubt the only time she'll probably say butt dial because he's going to make her read butt dial from her testimony. But I bet you dollars to donuts, that's going to be the only time you hear her say butt dials. And she is going to do everything in her power to not say butt dial.
why?
Because it's stupid. Because it looks bad on the whole case. It makes it gives more reasonable doubt, right?
Okay.
It does it because it's so absurd that she made 8 butt dials and 8 butt hang-ups, right? Like
Right.
she didn't let the phone go to voicemail. The phone hung up before it went to voicemail. If you butt dial somebody, do you think your phone knows when it goes to voicemail and automatically hangs up?
No.
Right. So so it's absurd, right? It's an absolute absurd.
I'll stipulate. Yeah.
So that there was 7 or 8 times that this happened, supposedly. And she called them all butt dials. That's what she's testified to. I have a feeling tomorrow she's just going to say she doesn't remember making those calls and completely change her testimony.
Right.
I have a feeling. And so it's, if they can get it in, they need, I kind of feel like they need that absurdity to kind of advance their theory of the conspiracy that's going on, right? Because that's what their
Right.
theory is. So I just have a feeling she's gonna, as everything that she's doing, trying to equivocate every single matter. You had a phone, you had a conversation with these agents, and it was brief. The little qualifiers.
Okay.
So I think that's what she's going to try to do for the rest of this cross examination, is try and get more and more of these qualifiers out.
Right.
What do you think?
I don't know what to make of any of this. See, if I go at it logically, then they're going to go a completely different direction.
Yeah, pretty much.
The thing is, though, if it depends on what the defense argues. If the defense is arguing this is a terrible investigation, that's one thing. But as the defense gets into, well, Proctor just wanted to pin all of this on Karen Reed, and we're going to see those text messages. I'm sorry for the spoilers for everyone new to this case. There are some text messages that indicate that this trooper had strong feelings about this case early on.
Yeah, and earlier in this, she did say that Trooper Proctor, basically, she told Proctor that she heard the I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
Yeah.
But he screwed up when he put it down because he didn't write it down, and that was his fault. She actually told Proctor that. She remembers telling Proctor that, but he didn't write it down in his report. His report is wrong.
Yeah, cops are known for that.
So, and then same thing with some of the other police officers. She said she told them, and their reports are wrong. She actually, that's, in fact, she even called like one of them back to the house later on that morning to say that she'd heard that, and he wrote that in his report wrong. So, I mean, she's sticking with this whole I hit him, I hit him, I hit him thing, which still, I mean, it's just, the whole thing's just stupid.
Well, she better stick with it.
Yeah, I think this is the thing too.
Sorry, provide him, so he needed to come back again.
Yes.
Right. Ultimately, you called him on his cell phone, right?
I did, yes.
So you were close enough that you had his cell phone number, he had your cell phone number?
No, I didn't have his cell phone number.
Where'd you get that number?
I asked Julie Albert for that number.
So Julie had his cell phone number?
Yes, she did.
And Julie is Chris's wife?
Yes.
She was at the location?
Yes.
When I say the location, 34 Fairview that morning?
Yes.
As was Chris?
He came at some point. I don't know if he was there when I called Officer Lank or not.
As was Brian Higgins, correct?
Yes, he was.
He came back over to the location as well.
Yes, he did.
As a matter of fact, it was Brian Higgins who suggested that you reach out to Officer Lank.
I'm not sure if it was him who suggested it.
Calls for
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
speculation.
I would assume. I, again, don't know what he was doing.
Because it
But in
calls.
fact, after you got your phone call, you dropped everything and headed back to 34 Fairview, correct?
Gotcha. Assisting.
Did you come back to 34 Fairview?
Now you're checked.
A call, so I did.
So when he came back over, he obviously had a notepad and a pen in his hand, correct?
I believe he was taking notes.
And you told him, you testified this morning that what you told him was Karen Reed said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, right?
Correct.
But when you wrote this report, you said, she said, I hope I didn't hit him. Correct?
I don't have his report in front of me.
That's different. In the report
Turn to the orange
says,
tab.
which also is hearsay. The report says you said, she asked, could I have hit him?
Do you see that?
I do, yes.
Okay, and you've had a chance to read it?
Just the highlighted.
Okay.
part.
May I approach?
Yes.
Yeah, he's walking all over the place, which is why he gets a little harder to hear.
In fact, what you told Officer Lank was something to the effect of, I hope I didn't hit him.
That.
Correct?
Incorrect. I told him that she said I hit him.
He wrote in his report.
Do you think the jury buys this?
Yeah, I don't think so. Not anymore.
Do you think she's like completely blown her entire credibility?
Well, Well, she hasn't given much for substance to start with.
Right. Oh, God. All right. So tomorrow we got her back on the stand. I think it's going to probably get even more freaking spicy, right? I think there'll be some big spice tomorrow. But we had the stupid. So on day 6, I think it was, that was day 7. So day 6, we had an entire. So you remember those experts were coming back in for a new, how do you say it? Voir dire. So they brought these experts back in all the way from Pittsburgh, because after the first trial was over, they had exchanged text messages on, like, logistics on how they're going to get there to testify for the trial. And so they deleted those text messages after the first trial, right?
Like you do.
Yeah, the guy,
Yeah.
I don't delete text messages. I don't go through my phone and delete any text messages. But
Jody does.
Does she really?
She deletes texts and emails. If you look at her phone right now and you go to text, it's blank. Maybe like 1 or 2 saved from me or her dad.
Right.
And not really saved. It's just like the last one that was sent.
Does she say why?
Because she got the information, she's done with it. She doesn't need it anymore.
Yeah, but what does it matter if it just stays on your phone?
Well, she likes it clean.
Okay.
She likes her inbox, her email inbox empty.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to share this tab instead. I'm sharing it.
Oh, good idea.
All right. So, maybe it was damn it. Maybe it was day 5. So they brought these poor guys all the way in from.
So I don't.
Yeah. All right. Share this. They're sharing this tab. So they brought these poor guys all the way in from
out of state.
Right. And then this guy is on the stand for 2 hours talking about these freaking text messages and the briefing that, right before he testified, Dr. Wolf, this is the guy who did the cannon.
Cannon of what?
The cannon that fired the shot glass into the taillight.
Yeah, right.
Right. So he sent a report to the defense the night before he testified, just to kind of give some, hey, maybe ask this question or that question, right? Said it's, for the jury. And, just to make things smoother. Well, that's supposedly them communicating about the case. Right?
Well, you do prepare your witnesses.
Yeah. So this is a special thing too, right? Though, because they couldn't prepare their witnesses. They couldn't talk about the case with these guys because these guys were hired by the feds, right? These were the guys that were hired by the FBI.
Okay.
So they couldn't actually communicate about they could only ask them about what they did and their report that they made for the FBI. They could not actually talk to them about the case beforehand.
Okay.
So Brennan is mad because he doesn't want them to testify because because it's bad for their case.
Sure.
So he drills this guy for 2 hours. Listen to some of this.
For my analysis, sir, I wanted to make sure the jury understood that.
Don't hide behind the jury. I'm talking about your communications with the defense. I'm asking you specifically about your conversations with the defense.
That's getting mad.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my God. Alessi is trying to yell, and as Alessi, I'm just backing it up. We're just playing it again, but as Alessi is trying to object, Brennan starts fucking yelling.
Why are you not doing this?
Why not?
Boy. What the chat?
I'm trying to get to the transcript, but it's not letting me. So hang on a second. I got to refresh this.
So I don't know why we are circling back to, well, you didn't turn this over to us in the first, because that's where we're at. But you didn't turn this over to us in the first trial. Okay.
Go back here, code red.
Front of that jury who you say you want to hear everything.
So he starts yelling
There were
at
other
him.
comments, yes.
If you want the jury to hear everything, you wouldn't be relying on the defense to tell you what to say and not say, would you?
I don't know if I understand your question.
Okay, you'll understand if I read this. Number 19.
I mean,
Would it be
maybe.
fair to say that because you do a lot of nighttime visibility work, your cases frequently involve pedestrians? You remember that one?
Yes.
And then you wrote back, yes, unfortunately, there is a direct correlation between the time of
So he's yelling at him. This thing takes 2 hours. Say something.
Okay. I'm wondering what he's so heated about, though.
Because he doesn't want these folks to testify. He thinks that they had. He basically says, and you'll hear this. We're going to go through his argument the next day that this guy's lying. They had multiple communications about it. They about the case, about their whole entire defense, right?
Right.
He so I mean, he's just, like I said, he drilled this guy for 2 hours about these stupid text messages that were from the last trial. And about, which were mostly about logistics and stuff.
Right. But somehow he thinks is the expert colluding with the defense.
Correct. Right. And because they were hired by the feds, they couldn't directly communicate about the case. They can now because of this whole thing. So at one point he even says that it's funny because he says,
as an expert, there's no ability to really vet the reliability of your first experiments that led to your testimony in trial 1, is there?
I think you might be confused. Again, our role for this round.
I don't think I am. I don't think I'm confused. I'm talking about trial 1.
Right.
You had a 12-page report.
I think you might be confused. So the other thing he tried to do, he's yelling at this guy. He's trying to get this guy on the defense, right?
Right.
He's
And
trying.
he's pretty smooth.
This guy is smooth as freaking butter. I mean, he does not get.
I just told you I'm providing my best estimate.
How confident are you the times were between 4 and 5 minutes?
Not very.
That's the best answer I can give you, sir. I'm giving you my best estimate.
I'm asking you how confident you are.
He
What's
answered.
that? How confident are you, Dr. Wolf?
I can't answer that any more specifically.
Okay.
That's my
You
best
were
estimate.
required by court order to.
He
You're
tries
here.
over and over and over to get this guy roused up, right?
Yeah.
So this guy gets to stay for 2 hours. This is Dr. Rentschler, the other expert from ARCA.
At the records from the defense, but then I looked at my own records, which indicate a different number, only 3 phones.
He came all the way from Pennsylvania to get you on the stand for like 15 minutes.
Oh, man. Ripped off.
15 minutes. This poor guy's on the stand. That's all he got.
So,
all right. So we go to the next day and I shared the tab and I think nope, that's that is not the tab I want. Bear with me.
Okay.
All right.
I haven't heard my son in a while.
I think he's fine. All right.
Yeah.
So this is basically
basically.
So he's saying they can't testify about any of it, and I'm not sharing it. How did I not stop sharing? What the hell just happened? Oh my good God. Okay. So he basically is saying I don't want them to testify
Yesterday's
at
hearing
all.
with the ARCA witnesses, the Commonwealth is going to ask the court to preclude the ARCA witnesses from testifying both about any new testing and any new opinions, and secondly, from testifying about their original opinions turned over in a report prior to last year's trial.
Now, the one argument he does make is that the original report that they did for the feds, the Commonwealth does not have the raw data from that to do their own testing or to check the results of that test.
Okay.
So
Wasn't
that's
that the point of the independent agency?
Well, yeah, they could have had the same exact information, right? They could have got the same exact report and used it, but the report said that it wasn't a vehicle accident that caused the injuries to O'Keefe, right? So, of course, they weren't going to use that.
Right.
So the prosecution hired a different agents or a different accident reconstruction place to do their own testing for the prosecution, and it took them forever to get them the report.
That fit the narrative?
That fit the narrative that the prosecution wants. So they finally turned over the report in like March, and he's saying that they don't have time because they turned over the report so late. The ARCA folks had to look at that report and do their own testing to disprove what the prosecution expert is now trying to say, right?
Yeah. Our expert's smarter than yours.
Right. So the prosecution is saying it's unfair because the rebuttal report is going to come in too late. So the prosecution's expert can't rebut the rebuttal.
Right.
Did you get that argument? They delayed the report. They delayed it for so long that it takes a while to do the testing and everything, right? And
Yeah.
ARCA's going to have the report on May 7th, but the prosecution is mad because their expert's not going to have time to rebut the rebuttal of their expert. Like, isn't there like an infinity loop of rebuttals that you can go through?
Well, I don't know. I mean, normally court let's say a motion, you're requesting this, and then the other side is going to submit their opposition. Then you get to submit your reply to the opposition.
Right.
And then the judge makes a decision. But so I could see rebutting the rebuttal. That's almost like a reply to opposition.
Right. But if you don't turn over the underlying data in time, you can't make the argument that you're disadvantaged because it's your own fault you didn't turn the stuff over in time, right?
And that certainly doesn't mean that the other side's expert is invalid because we didn't leave ourselves enough time to.
Right. Yep. So he kind of goes
Then
through.
later admitted that Dr. Wolf admittedly destroyed over 100 text messages.
So these were supposedly text messages about this trial, but they're all text messages about the last trial. And
He mentioned that
you're going to see this here, and
changed
it's
phone carriers,
beautiful.
but then later admitted that he actually intentionally and simply logistics. But to get back to Dr.
Logistics.
He did
So
not.
he's saying he's also saying that they're lying, that they weren't just about
dozens and dozens of calls between the defense and the experts. It is difficult to believe that all of those text messages and all of those phone conversations dealt with simply logistics. In fact,
so he said dozens of phone calls. Some of them are like 1 or 2 minute phone calls, right?
Right.
Like a 3-minute phone call or a 1 minute phone call and a 1 minute phone call, like you're playing phone tag. So I mean, and so basically he's saying they're lying.
Yeah.
he's saying that they're not telling the truth. They got on the stand yesterday and lied, is what he's saying.
We later learned during work
So-
with the Commonwealth, Dr. Wolf actually still continued to testify that that was simply procedure and logistics, never admitting the fact that there was, in fact, conversations or information exchanged about bettering the presentation for the defense.
So he just goes on and on and on about how horrible they are.
Yeah. Does it get worse?
It actually gets better.
Well, that's a switch.
I know, right? Now, usually the judge is like completely against the defense, right? I mean, she is just anti-defense. So he goes on, he says basically, I don't want them to testify whatsoever.
Preferred method.
So she goes, oh, there was some so you know what Signal is, right? The apps, the Signal app.
Yeah.
So there was some conversations on Signal. Well, it turns out it was because there were attempts to get the defense attorney's phones for part of the Turtle Boy case and all that. The Commonwealth wanted the Karen Reed defense folks' phones, right? Like wanted to go through their phones. It's like, so
yeah,
it's like, no. And that got turned down. So they had some conversations on Signal about the new case.
We're arguing this, right? This was your motion.
So here's Alessi. He's arguing the second part of it. So keep in mind the hundreds of text messages, right?
One question.
And so here's her.
All right, thank you. Mr. Lassie, I only have one question for you. So would you stand, please? You're arguing this, right? This was your motion. So my question is, how do I reconcile the fact that 100 text messages were deleted by counsel? And we heard yesterday counsel's preferred method of...
So they had a couple of conversations on Signal, right?
Right.
A couple of conversations. Now, according to her now, that's the preferred method of communications. She just made that up out of whole cloth, right? Right?
Well, you just got to have basis of it somewhere, right?
She's now saying that's their completely preferred method of communications after a couple of conversations. Like, you know.
Yeah, okay.
Counsel. And we heard yesterday counsel's preferred method of dealing with Dr. Wolf was via Signal. How do we reconcile that with the Massachusetts Rules of Professional Conduct 1.15?
Keep in mind now she's pulled out the rules of professional conduct, right?
I don't see how you reconcile that, where all correspondence related to the matter, whether in
she reads the rule,
physical or electronic form, must be saved for 10 years minimum. How do you reconcile that? How do I reconcile that?
I'm gonna, should I go to the podium?
Right there, and I expect a short answer.
The short answer, Your Honor, is the rule that you're citing has absolutely no applicability to this proceeding for the, can I finish my answer, Your Honor?
So did you catch that?
Yeah, he's saying that the rule she just read doesn't apply here.
Right. Now you notice he says, "Can I finish my answer?" What do you think do you think she started to make some kind of comment, or because he immediately goes, "Can I finish?"
Yeah.
So
how do you reconcile that? How do I reconcile that?
I'm gonna, should I go to the podium?
Right there, and I expect a short answer.
The short answer, Your Honor, is the rule that you're citing has absolutely no applicability to this proceeding for the, can I finish my answer, Your Honor?
She's like stopping him, dude. She was like about ready to stop him because she's pissed because he's like, "Nope, sorry, that does not apply."
Has no applicability. That rule is intended to be between an attorney and the client. The court has no jurisdiction to enforce.
Go, Alessi. I agree. I agree. That's a different body, but I'm asking you how I reconcile that when I'm trying to figure
Now it gets good, dude.
body, but I'm asking you how I reconcile that when I'm trying to figure this out. Mr. Lessie, you know what? You're going to win this, so why don't you just let me make my ruling? Okay.
Ah,
Now, what does a good attorney do when the judge says that you're going to win this?
you sit down and shut up.
Yep. Watch. A butt has not hit a seat faster than this guy. Watch
Leslie, you
this.
know what?
I saw it. I saw it.
You're going to win this, so why don't you just let me make my ruling? Okay. So I understand there have been repeated violations of the reciprocal discovery orders and my orders, repeated and deliberate. But, and Mr. Brennan, I understand completely the Commonwealth's argument, completely the ambush that has been set upon here. However,
The
a
ambush.
defendant's right to a fair trial is paramount to
Ambush.
everything. So
Oh, shit.
I'm going to allow the ACA witnesses to testify. I am going to allow what I expect to be a very robust cross-examination. And I'm going to allow them to testify to everything that they said up until yesterday. So
You did hear about the vigorous cross-examination, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's going to let him freaking.
She's going to give him some leeway.
Yeah, she's going to let him go off. And so, yeah. So she's going to, but you saw the guy on the stand, right? You saw how smooth he was.
Yeah.
How do you think, if he gets aggressive and that guy stays smooth, how do you think that plays with the jury?
Oh, it's going to look like the prosecution is grasping at straws, or just really trying to squeeze his testimony into something it isn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Exactly. And then when I gotta see if I can find it here.
I gotta get up and move around soon.
Okay. Yeah, we're almost done. Almost done. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So yeah, the ambush part when she says that, I can't believe the ambush that you've been set upon. It's like, just rulings like that. And then remember the last time with the video was inverted and then it was not, and it just showed up and they found this new video, but the video's inverted. You remember that from last trial, right?
Yeah.
How the video was backwards and then, basically there was new video this year. And so it's like, she talks about these discovery violations, but man, there's been discovery violations from the freaking prosecution from the beginning of this damn case, right? Like they have done everything and anything to try and get. It's just, more Massachusetts stupidity.
Yep.
I don't even know. So we'll see tomorrow what happens. I think it's going to be pretty crazy tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to be interesting.
Does anyone come up with the theory that if she didn't hit him with the car and drive home to leave him to die in the snow, what put him in the snow to die? Just drunk stumbling out of the house?
Yeah, or a fight in the house. That's what they're saying. And then they drug him out later, like because they, I mean, how much a head wound bleeds.
Sure. Or a fight in the house and he just goes to leave or something. I'm not welcome here.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Except he's all concussed and finds a nice pillow in the yard.
Right. Or they drag him, they supposedly the thought from the defense is they drag him out like at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that'd still make a mess in the house.
Well, yeah, but they never searched the house. They never went into the basement. And, you know, the cops never went into the basement. So,
yeah, I don't know. Dead guy on the lawn. I'm pretty sure I'm checking that lawn's house.
Yeah, you would think so. That would probably be a good place to start, right?
In any other state, yes.
Yeah. Yep. No, exactly. So this was the one thing. So Patty wanted me to show you one more thing before we go. Is supposedly, now this is during the ARCA hearing, and this is while Dr. Wolf is on the stand. Supposedly there is a head nod between the two of them, between the judge and the prosecutor.
What you thought would be the best questions and answers to help ask you to testify.
So this is something I routinely do when I work with attorneys.
So do you notice he looked up at the judge right there afterwards?
So this is
Let's
something
see.
I routinely do when I work with attorneys. Okay, I prepare this on.
And then she kind of does. I don't see it.
Do when I work with.
I don't know.
Shaking his
I prepare
head.
this on my own.
Yep. And I see him.
But I don't really see her reacting to him shaking his
Right.
head. She's
supposedly
switching gears, but
right. Supposedly the thing with her glasses or whatever she does here.
Do when I work with attorneys. Okay, I prepare this on my own.
yeah, some 007 shit they're getting into on that.
Yeah, that's I don't know. That's a little
She
like,
put on her reading glasses to read what was in front of her. That's what I saw.
yeah. So, you know, Bev stares at Hank intensely, then Hank makes eye contact and Bev nods. I don't know that I even see the nod really. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything there.
Yep. Yeah. So photographic evidence in front of the house before they had the Lexus shows an intact like, oh yeah, no, there was all kinds of different things. So anyway, all right. Well, tomorrow we'll see what the conclusion of the Jen McCabe testimony is and whether we hear about butt. I want some butt dials, Michael.
Well, I was trying to send you some tonight.
No, I mean in this.
Well, I can't control that.
I don't. Yeah, right. I don't want purposeful butt dials.
All right.
Although that's what all the butt dials in this case are. They're all purposeful butt dials in this thing.
Right.
Nobody freaking. There's no actual like butt dials.
Yeah, on a modern phone, no.
Oh yeah, there's not a lot of high top tables in this trial. There's not a lot of there's no snow. It was snowing. It was a blizzard. I mean, there's so much we're missing from the last trial. There's no what if any, who if any, right?
Yeah.
Hank Brennan does not say what if any, like ever. Like the only time I've heard it a few times. It's come from the defense. They've all said who if any, what if any, a few times, just to kind of throw it in there, right?
Right.
So, okay. You have a good night. Everybody
Yes,
out there
you too.
have a good night. We will be back tomorrow with another round of this.
And another panelist.
Yes, we will have
Yes.
Jody tomorrow too.
Yeah, tune in.
And for some reason I responded to a thing earlier, like this meme here.
Okay.
So this is like, and it says there are two types of women after 30, right? And you got one with all the shopping bags and doing her thing, and then you got one with a baby carrier and
Yeah.
diapers, right? And so the mom is looking all raggedy and she's staring at the shopping woman with, envy. And so I just said birth rates are at an all-time low. Just saying this isn't really a meme. This is kind of propaganda, right?
Sure.
This
You get
is
blown up for that?
no, I got 3,000 likes and almost 60,000 views on this one little freaking thing.
Oh my gosh, you're going viral.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, what in the world? I mean, and so this is kind of like a throwaway little thing, but yeah, 3,000 likes, 45 reposts, and 60,000 views on this thing. I'm like, what in the world? So,
yeah.
And then, a bunch of comments and conversations about it. But I mean, this is propaganda. This is like,
It's not a commercial for Chanel.
Well, it could be.
Yeah.
But, just come on, people. I mean, because we have historically low birth rates throughout the freaking world. So,
right. That's because, calling 6 kids to the dinner table's not as much fun as they made it sound.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't talk. I don't have any children, so I am one of the people on the other side, but still, I mean,
you're contributing to the low birth rate.
I am, and I have multiple friends that are contributing to the low birth rate. So, figure maybe we'll talk about the trial, but I also want to get into that a little bit because that, like, I don't know, like I said, I got some views on that one. I thought that was interesting. So, all right,
nice,
Michael,
well done.
Get up and walk around and
find my son.
Yes. And we will see you mañana. Well, I'll see you in like a minute here or
right. As soon as I stand up, actually.
We'll see all you tomorrow. All right. Good night.
Good night.